Welcome to Geektionary. My name's Corey Hales, and this is the geekiest podcast you'll probably ever hear, where I will try to teach you, along with my friends, about the nerdier things in life. Let's talk about it. Alright, so this is the episode for the letter I. This is Indiana Jones. I'm with Paul. Can I use your last name?
Yes, you can.
It's Paul Daniel. Yeah, so why did you want to talk about Indiana Jones?
I'm a big fan of Harrison Ford, and I grew up watching all those movies. Mm-hmm. Like, they were in, like, my childhood.
Yeah, the 80s. When were you born?
83.
83, yeah, so...
It's just divulging all my information here.
It was about... I think for any kid, once they reach a certain age, they kind of have to see Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like one of those, it's the classic action movie that's, still sort of family. They're all PG, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like every kid wants to be a treasure hunter. They want to go on adventures and stuff, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing about Indiana Jones, too, is that, I don't know, I think because it takes place, 50 years prior to when it was made, is a reason why it still feels kind of timeless. Because you know it's in the past and you know it's supposed to feel kind of old, but at the same time it still feels fairly fresh, you know?
Yeah, well, just like the newest one that came out in 2008, it still seemed kind of old. It still had an old feel to it.
Yeah, it was I think when they were doing that one, they were trying to kind of emulate the old pulp novels and pulp magazines and stuff.
Yeah.
Doc Samson and things like that, with people running around fighting injustice with their fists.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah.
But it's actually really good timing for this, because they've been on TV the past 2 weeks, all of them. So it allowed me to kind of refresh my memory on them.
Yeah, the thing is, though, is that with Indiana Jones isn't quite as bad as something like Goodfellas or Independence Day. Those are on all the time. No, they're on all the time. Indiana Jones is on fairly regularly, but Goodfellas you can watch literally almost any day.
That's true.
It's a great movie, but yeah. Alright, so do you know Indiana Jones's full name, actually?
No, I do not.
Yeah, it's Henry Walton Indiana Jones. Indiana just being a nickname.
Ah.
But
would Walton be his middle name? And Jones would be his last name?
Yeah, Jones is his last name.
Okay.
The thing is, though, that was revealed from his dad, Sean Connery, in the third movie.
Yes.
But I don't think it's ever really explained why he's called Indiana Jones. He's from Jersey.
Yeah.
And
I love the fact that they portrayed his dad with an English accent.
Yeah, and absolutely none for Indy. Yeah, he was raised in the States, except, come on.
Yeah, it's Sean Connery. Come on.
Sean Connery is... I don't remember. I remember trying to watch through that third movie. I'd watched the first two that day and then tried to rewatch the third, and I just got super, super irritated and bored. Yeah. But I think Sean Connery doesn't seem to age from when Indiana Jones is a kid to when he's an adult in that movie.
I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah.
He seems to be just Sean Connery. That's the Sean Connery,
Yeah. Perpetually old.
Exactly. Hunt for Red October. That Sean Connery.
When he has that white beard, especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing is, though, is that Sean Connery is only 12 years older than Harrison Ford. But, it doesn't...
Son, I had you when I was 12.
Yeah. It's Sean Connery looks just... He just looks that kind of old where you just know he's older than everyone around him.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford still looked somewhat young.
Yeah, it's a good word is distinguished.
Yeah, that is a good word, yeah. Yeah, so this was one of the things that was created by George Lucas before George Lucas hated the world. And created by George Lucas, starred Harrison Ford, obviously, and directed by Spielberg, which, that 3 used to be such a huge thing. Spielberg's even dropping off now. George Lucas he's gone.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's still a badass, except he's also such a cranky old man.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
That's fine. It's okay to be a cranky old man when you get older. It's okay. I want to be a cranky old man when I get older.
Yeah, I'm already on my way there. One thing with Harrison Ford, how awesome he is that... Do you remember that movie that came out called U-571?
Yes. Was that German U-boat?
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
just realized I'd had these on for a long time. Didn't really need them. I kept my headphones on despite the fact there was no audio coming through. So
It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Yeah. So he was on like Conan O'Brien, and Conan's asking him a question. It's like, so what do you think of this movie? And Harrison Ford just a bit like, such a terrible title. Just furious about it. I thing about Harrison Ford is though, for someone that never planned to be an actor, like he was a carpenter when he started working on Star Wars. Oh yeah, he was just one of the people that was helping build sets.
Wow, that's a random fact.
Yeah, and the thing is despite not wanting to be an actor, he's become like one of the action-y old men.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree. He's been in a bunch of movies. What movies has he been in lately?
Lately? I don't know.
See,
long pause.
That's probably why he's cranky, because nobody knows the movies he's been in lately.
Yeah. Like, if you talk about him, people always bring up obviously Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, U-571, that classic. But yeah, I know he is working. Except I think most of the stuff he's doing are like thrillers now, home invasion type movies.
What was that movie where? I think wasn't it him chasing someone? He was like a detective or whatever or something, and he was chasing someone in that one scene where they end out at the end of that big water tube,
he's being
looking
chased.
over the cliff.
It was Tommy Lee Jones is the fugitive.
Yes,
Tommy Lee Jones was chasing him. Harrison Ford's wife was killed by the one-armed man. Yeah,
that was a good movie.
It was a classic. Yeah. Harrison Ford, you consider him like an action star, right?
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
On a different type of action star than say like Sylvester Stallone or anybody else that's been in the Expendables.
Yeah,
it's the thing is like he still is an action star.
He's an action star, but I could never see him in the Expendables.
Yeah, he's more like the gunfighter action star,
yeah.
Like the old Western type one, as opposed to the other guys who will beat people up with their
Harrison
knees.
Ford will kill you from a distance.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, and getting back to the Indiana Jones, you know that scene where there's the dude with the sword swinging it around, and it's this showdown in the middle of like Marrakesh or something like that, and Harrison Ford just like pulls out his gun and shoots him.
Yes, I remember that. I just watched that scene just recently.
Such a cool scene. It's so good. Did you know that wasn't actually scripted?
Really?
Yeah. What had happened was Harrison Ford was feeling like quite ill on the day of shooting, and he had to poo really bad, but they're like, we just need to get this shot. Come on, Harrison Ford. And so like it was supposed to be like a full out fight, and then he just kind of ad-lib pulling out his gun and shooting him, and they thought it was so awesome that they're just like, we can't not use this.
He's just like, fuck it, I gotta take a poo.
Like,
let's just kill him.
I have to shit. Just I'm Harrison Ford, I have to shit.
That was a great impression. But speaking of scenes from all the movies, from Temple of Doom, I just watched this recently, and it just blew my mind. Mm-hmm. Remember the scene where they're in that raft in Temple of Doom, and they go off a cliff?
Yeah.
And they manage to glide down nice and safe, and then just land nice softly in this rapid river, and just keep going. Like... it's almost like they defy gravity or just like any wind or any physics. Like
a hover raft.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hover raft. Like it just blew my mind how like just it could be like, oh heck, okay, cool. We're just gonna go off a 200-foot cliff and land in the water safely. We're okay.
Yeah, it's well, you know, one of the things about any George Lucas movie, and to smaller degree Spielberg movie, is that there's always, no matter how realistic, there's always that little bit of whimsy. That movie magic, thing. Yeah,
I guess I shouldn't really take it so literally.
Yeah.
But, like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
if the movie was trying super hard to be realistic, then you could take it to point. But, like, it's always got that kind of tongue-in-cheekness to it,
Yeah. Well, I guess, like, when I was a kid, like, I'd watch it, and I'd be like, oh, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. This is so cool. I wish I could do that. Yeah. And as an adult, I'd take a step back and I'd look at it way too literally.
Yeah.
Like, I should continue to look at it as, like, a kid.
Yeah.
So.
I'm trying to think of a good example other than that, and I just keep on going back to Star Wars, and, like, nothing in that is supposed to be super realistic because it's fucking Star Wars.
Yeah.
But, Let's go through the actual movie in the way that they came out. First, obviously, was Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was only later called Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Really?
Yeah. Takes place in 1936. The bad guys are Nazis. Everyone's after the Ark of the Covenant. Jesus Christ. And the most famous scene is when the Nazis open up the Ark and release, I guess, evil.
Yeah.
And it starts melting all their faces, except for Indiana Jones and the lady he's with, because they're keeping their eyes shut.
Oh, so it's like an eye contact thing.
Yeah. If you see what's in the box, then you get your soul or your face melted. And I remember when I first saw that as a child.
Yeah.
I was horrified. It was the scariest thing I'd seen in movies on anything up until that point. And
well, it's pretty scary seeing someone's face melt off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I still think of Indiana Jones as being super kid-friendly, but then it's also from that old school of children's movies, if you can count it as that, where most of it's appropriate, then at one point there's something that really, really fucks you up.
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's like one scene that jumps out at me, and I think it probably I can speak for everyone on this, is the one where he punches through the guy's chest and rips out the still beating heart.
Yeah, that was in Temple of Doom.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like you're a kid and you're seeing that, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Why is that guy still alive? Why is the heart still beating?
That's insane. I'm just wondering, is that actually possible? Will the heart still be beating?
I don't. Well,
because the heart needs blood.
If you did it fast enough, somehow was able to punch through the ribs without any of the ribs puncturing the heart.
Yeah.
I guess maybe.
So like a Bruce Lee kind of fast? Or like...
I'm thinking more like The Flash or Quicksilver from comic books. I think you need to
so like superhuman power fast.
Yeah.
Okay. I get you there.
Maybe Bruce Lee could do it because he was Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And like he was the greatest at what he did, but...
Well, I think Bruce Lee could probably like 1-inch punch his heart out.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Just do the 1-inch punch, see the heart fly out the back of the other dude. That'd be pretty intense.
Yeah.
The second movie, unless you have anything more to say about Raiders. Second movie was released in 1984, was actually a prequel, taking place in 1935. That was the chest-punching human sacrifice thing. That was with the Indian Thuggee death cult who worshipped Kali, who I think is one of their gods of death. And he was just after a mystic stone that some random village that he ran into was asking for. I can't remember what it was that the stone did, except I think with the cult with that stone could do the creepy magic shit that they were doing. Yeah, no, it definitely enhanced. Like it was an object of power for sure. Yeah, but I remember like when Indiana Jones, when he's like surveying kind of like the tomb area. Yeah, and he's obviously not allowed to go down there. Mm-hmm. And I remember the one scene where he dressed up in like the Afghan wear, where he had like he even put a turban on. Yeah, and he walks over to like nonchalantly to like the cave, to like the hole where you have to jump down into. Yeah, and he just looks down there and he just throws a spear down there or something. He's like, oh, okay, I guess I got to get this now. So then like he's working with another Afghan guy or whatever. Yeah, and he helps him down with a rope, and so he's stuck down there and he's searching for this stuff. Mm-hmm. And I remember that was the one where he sets up like the pole and the beam of light goes through and directs. Yeah, that was going back to that first one too. Yeah. And I remember that the guy that was helping him got distracted. Like he got like, hey, you're not allowed to be around here, so he took off. Mm-hmm. And he was stuck down there. He was stuck in I remember that scene. There. Yeah, no. Yeah, that was in Raiders, because that was still the Nazis. They were still looking for the Ark, and they were in Egypt. Mm-hmm. And they had the sunlight had to go through the staff and illuminated where on the in the old city the Ark was, I guess. Yes. Yeah. That one I would say would probably be my favorite, because it's got Nazis, which are always the best bad guy. There's that one awesome scene where Indiana Jones is having that super long fist fight with the giant Nazi. Oh, yeah. Bald guy, big mustache, and then he got tossed through the propeller. Oh. It was such a gruesome... That's a horrible way to die. Yeah. It also had it starts out with them going to that random tomb.
Yeah.
And then being chased by cannibals at the end, but like when he's trying to get the golden idol and he's trying to replace it with the sandbag, like everybody knows that scene whether they've seen the movie or not because it's so famous. And
yeah.
The thing is, I remember seeing that and it all looks like okay, everything's fine, but then Indiana Jones, who is a professor, like how did he know? Like yes, he was wrong, but he was fairly close, you could tell, but how would he know how much this golden idol weighed before he was able to switch the thing?
Yeah.
I guess that's also one of those movie magic whimsy things that we were talking about.
I guess like being a professor, like he may be able to eyeball it kind of thing. Like look at something and then be like, okay, yeah, it's roughly about this. Mm-hmm. But no, just to get an exact weight. Yeah. It's another one of those things where...
You just kind of got to accept it.
Oh, it's in a movie, okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, when you're watching it, you don't think about it at the time. It's one of those afterthoughts, which is like, wait a minute. Oh, well. Like, it's not something that, like, ruins the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Getting back to Raiders. Another thing I completely forgot about that was the massive amounts of child slavery. Yeah, like, this... What were they mining for? I don't know if it was covered or if I just forgot, but...
Was it diamonds? Or was it, like... was it some sort of gem or jewel? Or was it more along the lines of, like, an ore?
I really don't remember. I think it was probably more like a diamond, like they were trying to find another one of the mystic stones.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes sense.
Yeah, and that has such an awesome chase in the mine carts.
Yeah.
Which is another one where you're just like, why would anybody make a mine cart track be that fucking insane?
Well, that just reminds me of like Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, like, so good.
Oh, that's a great video game.
So good. It's... The thing is, however, Temple of Doom is not a great movie, but the thing is, it's a B movie, but it's done with the right amount of style, it has the right actors, other than that woman who is literally useless.
Yeah.
And Short Round, who's extremely offensive.
So Short Round is Data from the Goonies, right?
Yeah, he's okay. He's that Asian child who acted in movies in the 80s. Like, do we need an Asian kid? Let's get that guy.
I love how like the stereotypes even go all the way back to there, where it's like, oh, he's Asian, oh, he's smart, he has technology.
Yeah. Asians are smart. They're good with stuff. That's very vague thing. Hey, did you hear about the controversy about the new $100 bill?
No.
Okay, so you've seen the new bills, right? They're like impossible to tear. They have that one clear part.
I'm afraid to fold them.
They feel kind of dainty, don't they?
Yes.
But on the back of the $100 bill, it's like Canada's tribute to science.
And I heard about this. Yeah.
Shows a woman looking into a microscope, and the Asian communities were upset because they're like, she looks like she might be at least partially Chinese, and then saying that, and then having her doing the science, that's racist. That's going with that stereotype that all Asians are good at science.
The thing that I don't get about that is, why would they be mad that their race is depicted on something like it's something so important?
It's a reverse racism.
Yeah.
But the thing is, have you seen the actual picture of the one? Like, maybe she's Asian, maybe she's not. She is looking in a microscope, so it's probably squinting.
Yeah.
But like, she doesn't. It's not like it's a racist caricature.
Yeah.
It's not like she's got like the Coke bottle lenses and one of those rice hats or anything. You know? Welcome to Canada. We hate Asians.
Nice.
I don't know. Short Round, though, I think one of the reasons they got away with the sort of blatant racism of the character is that it is supposed to be like those pulp comics, which were very racist.
Yeah.
And so,
where did he meet Short Round?
It happens prior to the beginning of that movie. He was looking. I think he was. They do explain it in the movie. I just can't remember. Like, he found him. No, Short Round tried stealing from Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones caught him and essentially adopted him for his adventure companion.
Oh.
Yeah, which is kind of like a Batman and Robin thing. But then in the next movie, Short Round, if you go back to fucking Raiders, Short Round's gone. He's either dead, adopted, or he just went on his own. It's 2 years later, so he'd be like maybe 12, 13. by Raiders' time.
Yeah.
So
probably already in college.
Yeah. Yeah, because Asians are good at math.
I'm sorry. That was not racist. Yeah. I'm sorry. To all our Asian viewers.
Yeah. No, this is pretty much just going up to my friend Eric. He's the only person I know who has listened to everyone religiously. He says he actually looks forward to it too. He was in the Godzilla one.
Yes.
So yeah, Moving on. The original ideas for the second Indiana Jones movie, I found out these two, and I was actually really, really pleased with them. If they did in Indiana Jones, one of them doesn't work, but the other one's okay. The first idea is a valley in China that is filled with dinosaurs.
Okay.
Which could have been good.
Like Land Before Time?
Kind of like Land Before Time, or like King Kong when they're on Skull Island. There's still dinosaurs and shit there.
Okay.
And the other idea was a haunted castle in Scotland, which you could kind of picture Indiana Jones there, but part of Indiana Jones is like the big sunny landscape, and like these huge temples, not like a castle in bleak Scotland.
Like it's raining, cloudy.
Yeah. One thing that might have been interesting, though, is that if they did that, since with the whole pulp background, they had ghosts and werewolves and shit.
Mm-hmm. Whenever I think of that, I just think of like Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems like it would be like a little too cheesy.
Yeah.
I like the way they actually they ended up going the direction they ended up going, like with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed it as a kid, so I'm glad they didn't do anything different.
Yeah. It was a good choice. The Chinese Dinosaur Valley idea could have been good, but Land Before Time, Land of the Lost, etc., etc. The next movie, made in '89, was Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which had Sean Connery. Takes place in 1912, showing him as a kid stealing a cross from some robbers, and then they have that awesome train chase.
Yeah, okay, I remember that.
It's like a circus train, and he's falling into these things filled with like lions and stuff. And
that'd be pretty crazy. That's a good concept.
Yeah. It's
I like that.
You don't see a lot of really good train-related action scenes in movies anymore, and I think that's a definite failing.
It is. Wasn't that movie, I think it might have been called, Unstoppable or something, where it wasn't, it was about the train,
Denzel Washington and Christopher Pine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Also, there was another one where, it was like he had to,
he kept going back in time and reliving the thing. Okay, so there still are some train action movies going on.
Train action.
Hardcore train action.
Sweet.
That had the guy from Donnie Darko. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, he was, that was a decent movie.
Yeah, it was not bad.
Yeah.
I watched it. I think I watched it on a plane, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. The plane back from Vancouver, and it was good. It passed the time by. It killed the time. It was good. So,
yeah, it had also that. Who's that famous Indian comedian from Canada?
Oh, Russell Peters.
Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah, he was he was like a dick on the train.
Yeah, he was a complete asshole.
Yeah, you think he was trying to be funny, but he ended up being like a dick.
Yeah, he did do part of his act on the train in one of the playthroughs.
Yeah,
walk through things.
That's the thing with Russell Peters. It's like he was funny. I think he still is, but he needs to think up some new stuff.
Yeah, it's not an easy job being a comedian.
You're gonna get hurt real bad. It's like getting super old.
Yeah.
But
thing if you look at him and compare him to say Louis C.K.
Yeah.
Who almost always has new material. The thing is though, is that Louis C.K. He's one of the best comedians, in my opinion, that has ever lived.
No, I agree.
Because he's able to come up with so much new stuff all the time. There's another guy, Paul F. Tompkins. You ever heard of him?
Sounds a little familiar.
Yeah, he's also just one of those absolutely naturally funny, really good comedians. Almost always has some new stuff, and it's amazing. But yeah, Russell Peters isn't bad.
No,
he's a very good comedian, but he should come up with some new shtick, even if not a new kind. keeping with the race stuff that he does a lot of. That's fine, but...
Yeah. You know what I just realized? I'm nodding my head and shaking my head thinking you guys can see me. Nope. I guess I'll vocalize. I'll say no and yes.
Yeah, it's tough to get into the habit of it, and listening through it, I find I say a lot, and I edit out a lot of them, but it's not possible for most of it. I also say like a lot, which it's so hard. You start listening to yourself. I don't, because I have to edit this.
Yeah.
And you become more and more aware of it and more self-conscious.
Yeah.
I haven't said accidentally in a while now because I'm trying so hard.
So consciously just...
Yeah.
It's almost like you need like a dog collar thing or like an electric...
One of the shock collars?
Yeah, it's like as soon as you say it'll shock you, so that'll teach you quick.
It's... Instead of saying, I was taught in school, just take a pause. Which can sound a bit stilted, but at the same time, it's better than saying, all the time. You sound stupid. So, with Last Crusade, getting back to that, after the train thing and finding out that, I don't remember why it was, but he did save the cross, but the robbers came back and took it from him and his father because I guess it was rightfully theirs.
Yeah.
I think they were... I think they were part of the Templars.
Yes.
Yeah, because they were trying to protect the cross for religious reasons and stuff. The enemies in that movie was also more Nazis, going back to the good old fashioned, which have been replaced by terrorists now.
Yeah.
They were trying to get the Holy Grail, and the big death scene is in that, which again I don't quite recall. The bad guy drinks from the super jeweled out cup thinking it was Jesus's and drinks from it and turns to dust.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember wondering, okay, what is he drinking kind of thing. So, yeah, no. I wouldn't want to drink something that turned me to dust.
No.
Not at all.
That's why you got to pick the carpenter's cup. This is the simple Jesus cup. Yeah.
It's more like a chalice.
Yeah. One thing I wonder regarding Jesus is that once he realized he was the Son of God and became the Messiah, going around preaching with his buddies and all that stuff, going on the first road trip in history, did he continue doing the carpentry? Isn't that something that if you stop doing completely, you sort of get worse at?
I think he probably kept on doing it. Probably did it out of home, did it out of his house or something.
Whenever they'd roll.
Yeah, he was probably like a contractor, just like a little private.
Yeah,
on the side job.
That's why him and the apostles were going from city to city.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's we got a contract over in Bethlehem. They need some tables and chairs.
Yep,
that's awesome.
Sounds good. Speaking of tables and chairs, that's another religious thing, isn't it? Either in the Hindu or the Sikh, in their temples, they're not allowed to have tables or chairs. I remember driving down the road one day in Vancouver, and there was a temple, and there's supposedly a big, huge kerfuffle. I guess that's a good word.
Yeah.
And all the tables and chairs were broken and thrown and strewn across the parking lot.
Really?
Yes.
So okay, was this temple a temple before? Do you know, or?
No, it was always a temple, and I think they had tables and chairs, and some people let it slide, I guess. And then, I guess all the elders, or I guess all
the district manager equivalent?
Yes, okay. Yes. They just said, hey, no, what's this? Get these out of here now.
Okay.
Because I guess they have their, I don't want to be racist and say carpets, but...
the prayer mats.
Yes,
yeah.
Prayer mats, when they got to be facing Allah, or whatever.
Yeah, in the mosques and stuff, at least in documentaries and stuff I've seen. I've never actually been into a mosque. It's always just a flat, empty area. And, I don't know. For what you have to do in there, makes sense. Toss down your prayer mat and pray to Allah.
I honestly, I got bad knees. I'd want to sit in the chair. So
yeah, I have a bad back. And so, just, I do the prayer thing, head to the floor, wouldn't be able to get back up.
It's like you bend your head down and touch your forehead on the ground or whatever it is, and you won't get up. You're stuck in that position.
everyone else is leaving. You're just there. It's like, if I cry out, that might be sacrilegious.
Yep. So you're kind of confused. You're kind of locked in a trance.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do?
Well, I guess I'll just pray more. Yeah. One good thing, well, yeah, like I said, I tried watching Last Crusade and just got bored and fell asleep. But, again, Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that by itself already makes that movie good. I don't need to see the rest of the movie. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Sean Connery. I'm more of a fan of Sean Connery impersonations.
Yeah.
I like it. I remember, do you ever remember watching Celebrity Jeopardy?
On Saturday Night Live, yes.
Yeah. And, like, famous titties. No,
I'll take the penis mightier.
You're sitting on a gold mine, Trebek.
What's the difference between you and a mallet with a cord? I don't remember the rest, but your mother's a whore. That's so awesome.
Yep.
When I was learning to drive, me and my driving instructor would have like dueling Sean Connery while we were doing
Nice.
It was so funny. Especially because learning to drive can be stressful, and there'd be moments where I'd fuck up, and there'd be lots of yelling back and forth, and a long period of silence, and it's just like, would you like to see the Loch Ness Monster? Just like, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, I remember doing my driver's test where they actually had the red pen.
Oh,
where they like, you did something wrong, X. Like, it was just scary. Like, he has the green pen out the whole time. Yeah. And all of a sudden I hear the cap go on the green pen.
Red pen.
And then, like the pop of the cap coming off.
Yeah.
And, that was horrible. I still passed, but it's just a dread feeling because I wanted my license. Like, what kid doesn't want their license?
Exactly, yeah. So, getting away from driver's test and Sean Connery. 1989, Last Crusade came out. Not until 2008. Nearly 20 years.
With Shia the Beef.
Yeah. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That movie was... When I saw it, it was watchable, but it got to a point where you're just like, this isn't fun anymore. This is like a train wreck. Like, there's nothing fantastic about what I'm seeing.
I remember the actual crystal skull looked like the head of Alien.
Yeah,
like from the Alien movies.
It
had like a really big, long... Yeah, exactly. Like, it didn't look like just a skull.
No.
Like, it looked like some sort of extraterrestrial or some non-human or non-animal thing.
Yeah.
So...
that movie takes place in 1957. They tried to change the whole... They tried to go to the 1957's version of pulp stuff, which wasn't as popular, but still fairly different. It had Shia the Beef as the greaser with like the leather jacket and motorcycle and switchblade knife and all that stuff, and it had the Russian commies as the bad guys.
Good old commies.
Yeah, another really good villain. Like after World War II, Nazis were the villains in so many movies.
Yeah. After
the Cold War, Russians.
Mm-hmm.
After fucking 9/11, now it's terrorists. But it's also Russians, often. Yeah. Nazis have been phased out unless it's a zombie movie.
Well, it's like, I play GoldenEye for 64. Good. And it's just like, it was Russians, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're Serbian or like Serbia or whatever.
Some Soviet.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Like, that is a classic enemy. Mm-hmm. Like, just hearing a Russian accent or a German accent coming at you.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, what's this guy thinking?
Or sometimes a British accent, because in a lot of the movies that had Nazis, they would just get British actors.
Yeah, that's just along the lines of, like, the Sean Connery thing. It's like, honestly, it's a movie, they should have English, like, not British accents, but, like, Canadian or American accents.
Mm-hmm.
They should keep along that par, just to keep it somewhat consistent.
Or German.
Yeah.
Get someone who can speak German and then have subtitles.
Yep.
A lot of people don't like subtitles. I could give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh boy, I have to look down slightly while I'm watching this.
Yeah, honestly, when I'm watching a movie, the least amount of effort, the better.
Yeah, like, if you're watching a foreign film and you know, like, let's say, Martyrs or something like that.
That's a good movie.
Very good movie. But if it was dubbed with English voices, I think it would lose a lot of its effect.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because, like languages are translated differently, right?
Yeah.
So, Like, just, if it's dubbed, horrible. But if it's, I'd rather hear them speaking their native language and have it subtitled. That's fine. Because there's a lot of cool Japanese horror movies and stuff that are, like, really good, like, with subtitles.
Yeah, one of the problems with dubbing, specifically with Japanese and I guess Korean movies as well, is if you hear the dubbing, the English voice actor, because they're trying to match the way the mouth is moving, weird pauses, weird, like, like, why are you making so many noises?
like it's not talking, it's more just doing sound effect noises. Like,
it's gotten better.
Yeah, no, for sure. But just the classic, or the classic where it's like they're talking and then their mouth moves.
It's like, what is going on over there? Just it's, I don't know. Yeah, and more with the Crystal Skull, just the nuking the fridge has become like jumping the shark. You know,
so jumping the shark. Explain.
Okay, you know Happy Days with the fawns and all that.
Yeah.
That was a very popular show, and they say it started going downhill when the fawns in an episode jumped a shark on water skis. Because they're just like, this is just getting stupid now, and then from that point on, everyone's just like, it's jumped the shark, meaning it's gone over that point where it's just stupid now. So nuked the fridge is a more modern version of that.
Sweet. I totally would have not thought that at all.
Yeah, it's not something I ever really think of that much, but I don't know. One other stupid thing about Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, other than the treasure being knowledge, was the monkey vine swinging.
Yes.
Like, Shia just figures out how to swing on the vines. Exactly like monkeys after watching them do that for a minute.
Just going from vine to vine.
Yeah. You know how difficult that would be?
Yeah. That's all upper body strength. Mm-hmm. And, and timing, upper body strength.
Like, you have to see the vine you want and know that you're going to get to it, and then let go and grab on at the right time. Or, it's
like that show, that American Ninja Warrior.
That is an awesome show.
I love that show. And one of them was like the monkey vine thing, where you got to go from, like, do the swing from, like, just rope to rope to rope. And so many people got knocked out on that one.
Yeah.
It just seems so tough.
Like, was that like the short things of rope to, like, each one was a different kind of length?
Each one was a different length. So even that's just... Well, the thing is, like, if you're in nature, they're not all going to be exactly the same length. Yeah. So, it's for sure. That's cool.
Like we learned in the movie Prometheus, God doesn't work in straight lines. There's so much disgust. Exactly. And... some will be longer, and some of them won't be as healthy. Yeah. Grab onto the wrong one, fall down, and by the height that he was at, die. If he survives the landing, get run over by communists, or get eaten by those ants. That ant part was cool.
Yeah, but that'd be a horrible way to go.
It's an awful way, yeah.
But it just reminds me of like a cartoon where like some people are having a picnic. Yeah. And then the ants come by, and they start to pick up the food and walk away. Yeah. And then they eventually pick up the guy and walk away. Like, where are they taking him?
The way you said that, it seemed like it got extremely dark and scary for a moment. Or just in the cartoons also, they'll be, like, for some reason, someone has brought, like, apparently a bone-in ham. Yeah. Because that's what you bring to picnics.
Bone-in ham.
And then just ants swarm over it, go away, and just the bones left. Yep. And they do it so fast. That is creepy. That's basically what was going on in that movie, though, if I remember right. Yep. Except instead of a bone-in ham, it was communists.
It should have been a bone-in ham.
Yeah, it's like...
But communists are better.
We're in ant territory. Get out the ham. And just start throwing
it's ham time.
Yeah. Last thing I'd say about Indiana Jones, because we're nearing the end of the time, would be the TV show. The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which I saw bits and pieces.
I can safely say I've never seen a single episode of that.
From what I gathered, like, I found it extremely boring, but from what I gathered, it felt kind of like the Hardy Boys. Okay. Indiana Jones would find a mystery, solve the mystery, use some archaeological skills, maybe jump over a pit with spikes.
I've read Hardy Boys. I've read a bunch of those books and stuff. And I could see how, like, that would be good, like, to get a premise after that.
Yeah. The main actor in it was Sean Patrick Flannery, and I recognized the name, but I didn't know from what. He was one of the guys from Boondock Saints.
Okay.
The one that isn't on The Walking Dead now.
Was that those two guys, the two Irish guys?
Yeah, who get the vision from God and start fighting against organized crime.
Yep.
That was a good movie. It was a really good movie. I hear the sequel's terrible.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, I remember going to one of those movie store closing sales.
Yeah.
And they had like a dozen copies of them, and we just walked by them. Like, I guess we should buy it because we have the first one.
Yeah.
But, no.
Yeah. And it had been almost, I think, a decade between the movies, which is never a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Young Indiana Jones lasted from 92 to 96. There's just a stupid amount of celebrity cameos. There's Daniel Craig, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Like, it was this huge list. It's worth looking up because it's these big names.
Was it animated?
No. It was all
live action.
Harrison Ford was in one as older Indiana Jones looking. Like,
you knew he'd make a cameo.
Obviously. Well, I don't know if it's that obvious because of Harrison Ford being such a grumpy old bastard.
Yeah, I guess like he probably said, okay, you're going to pay me a lot of money to do this.
Yeah, the budget would have to be huge, not just for the actors, but also it was shot in 25 countries over 150 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, that's a fair amount. That's a lot for a TV show.
You got to realize, though, like back when, it was, 92, 96?
Yeah, 92, 96.
I think a lot of those big-name actors you know now weren't as big back then.
Oh, yeah, Daniel Craig was no one at that point.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Maybe?
She was on the brink of really being big.
Yeah.
But, I guess...
What was that movie? Entrapment? Her and Sean Connery?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a decent movie.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. That was I think when I first learned about what the Interpol was. She was an Interpol agent masquerading as a thief.
Isn't that like international police or something?
Yeah, they're the ones who handle like copyright infringement as well. Yeah, if you look at the beginnings of DVDs, and old VHS,
it's
copying this goes against Interpol. It's just that seems very epic.
It's like a fine of up to $500,000 or 5 years in jail.
Yeah, it's just like. Let me bootleg Creepshow 2. Oh no, Interpol got me.
Well, it's like the amount of say just for downloading music and stuff. I'd probably have like a good 4 life sentences with the amount of music I have.
Yeah. It's you remember when Metallica and Dr. Dre put out that lawsuit to random people that were using Napster?
Yep.
One of my friends got a letter in the mail from them.
Really?
Saying you may be involved in a court case in the next while.
Has anything happened from that?
Oh no, no. He just showed it to us. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" Or just
I'd frame that shit.
Oh yeah, I wonder if he did. I haven't talked to him in a while. I should ask him about that.
You should go and get it signed by Metallica.
They would never sign that. They would burn it and burn you.
They'd be like, "Okay, you're coming to us. Okay, you're going to court."
Yeah. It's like, how much money do you have on you? Give it to me. They were planning on originally having 5 movies in the Indiana Jones movies. This was back when they first started it.
Yeah.
That was one of the reasons it took 19 years between the Kingdom Crystal Skull and the one before that.
No wonder Harrison Ford's a cranky old bastard.
Yeah. It's do you think that they would ever do a sequel after how badly Crystal Skull was?
I think it wouldn't be Harrison Ford. I think it would be like a Bourne Supremacy where they changed it up.
Yeah, they were talking about if when it first came out, they're like, "Yep, after this, we're gonna have Shia LaBeouf as the next Indiana Jones."
No, I would
after how
that.
badly that went, it would not do well.
Unless Megan Fox is with Shia LaBeouf in that movie, I will not watch it.
Yeah, fucking Sam Witwicky. God damn it, Transformers.
Sam Witwicky.
Yeah. Well, I think we've about covered everything.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
We strayed, except I think for the most part it was fairly on topic.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was more of we were talking about Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And then we'd come up with something that would branch off a little bit. Mm-hmm, but then we get back on topic and another thing would branch off.
That's exactly what this show is.
Yes, I love it.
Anyways.
Very happy to be on the show.
Yeah, thank you again. This was fun. And this has been Geektionary.